What's going on, everyone? It's AimDownSites back again on DUSK Combat Force YouTube for another Siege Training Academy video, and this week I'm super excited to bring you guys a video on how to play and a go-to guide on the Operator Maestro. Alright, so today we're going to be explaining Maestro, going over the tips, the basics, and kind of some map work on how you can best play Maestro. First, we're going to cover up his loadout, and mostly the gun to go to, the Alda 5.56. As you can see here, this is kind of the setup that I run. Hollow, muzzle, vertical, doesn't matter your weapon skin, of course. And I like the Space Traveler charm, looks cool, makes me feel like Elon Musk. But those are just the attachments I run. You can see down here with it: damage, fire rate, mobility, capacity, the recoil pattern, the fire rate, and the capacity. All those three things combined are what make this gun so good. Even after they took away the ACOG, still one of the best guns on defense, and the ACS-12 stands nothing in comparison to it, and so you hardly ever see it unless someone's just trying to meme, which, you know, it's funny. I've broken the servers a couple of times playing with this shotgun. For the secondaries, you have two pretty different options here. You get the bailiff, which is pretty much kind of like it says up top here, the bore shotgun. So basically it's making rotations, breaking hatches, that kind of stuff, while the Karatos is going to provide you more of an actual like one-on-one fighting chance rather than the bailiff. It just gives you the more range, the more damage, pretty much all you'd want in an actual pistol in a gunfight rather than a shotgun pistol. The impact and the barbed wire are pretty interchangeable depending on what you're doing. Maybe if you're running the Karatos, you could run the impact. If you're running the bailiff, you could run barbed, or you could do a mixture of both. If you don't like impacts, run barbed, and if you want to run the Karatos at the same time. It's totally preference when it comes down to this, and maybe in what your teammate has. So yeah, that is the setup I run to Maestro, and we'll go ahead and get into some games here. Alright, we're going to run through 4 different maps here and show you 2 sites on 4 maps. So 8 sites in total where Maestro it can be really effective, and they're going to be on the, your most defended sites. So here on Villa, we're going to be showing you a spot for the 90 hull here and in the study. Both of these places are where people push the most to really attack Aviator game side, and we'll show you kind of where to set up here. Normally, this wall here is going to be reinforced. I'm not going to take the time real quick to reinforce it. But we'll show you where the cams are at. So we've got the one in study to protect this main push, and then we've got the one in 90 to really see anything coming from the backside. So really any entryway is pretty much covered. Now, granted, you can't see entirely on the red stairs here, and not every cam is going to be perfect. You won't be able to see everything, but you can see the doorway from this. So you kind of give one and take it to the next on this site. So yeah, that's going to be your main for Aviator and games. I knew it. So here on the trophy statuary, we're going to show you another 2 cams. And once again, they're not going to be necessarily cams in sight. That's always an option. And maybe if you wanted some cams in sight, we'll show you a spot that would probably be pretty good. Would be right here. Let's say you wanted one in sight. This would probably be a pretty good cam, as you can see the entire site except for behind the bomb here, and you can see into the master bedroom. But this is one of my main cams for this site. You see into the master bedroom, the closet, see if anyone's in the bathroom. You could take out a thermite charge on this main wall to say if they're thermiting it, or Ace in the future when he comes out, you'd be able to get Ace's gadget, you can get Habana, you can just do about anything with Maestro. And as you can see, there's a Twitch drone, and so you need to avoid Twitch drones. And so the best way to do that is kind of look up, and so now the Twitch won't be able to quite destroy it if I look up properly. And then we'll show you the cam that I actually just, I messed that up, figured out a day ago. And you can actually place a cam kind of sneaky onto this red bench out in the hall. And so you get a good line of sight into each of these halls here. And I really like having this 90 hall covered, even though there's already a cam here. This one's just so much better just because it's indestructible. It can shoot back. It can do all sorts of different things. And so that's what makes Maestro cams really different, even than black eye cams. You only get 2 of them. You can't throw them high up, but it makes it really stand out that they are not indestructible, but you can't shoot them. What is going on in here?
Dude, look! I got it! I'm breakdancing, dog! I'm breakdancing. What's up?
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't holding anything, I was literally on my drone and then I looked.
Alright, so we're going to show you the 2 sites here on Cafe. First off, we're going to start with the top floor. And this is a very good cam here because it's not able to be destroyed from above unless maybe they bank a nade or something like that. And then I also like to get a cam up here too. On this site, I really like to have cams in both sites. Or maybe you can have a cam in the hallway here, like maybe along this doorway or in the piano room. But these are just my preferred cams here. So as you can see, I like having this wall open, just in case this other cam like this is going out. Now it's back, but just in case that one goes out, I don't have full line of sight into that B site right there. But I do have pretty good idea of where things would be coming from. And like I said here, this one's pretty hard to destroy unless they're in line of sight. And to be in line of sight of this cam, it's either got to be from piano or in one of the sites. And so that's going to make it pretty complicated and almost a guarantee that your Maestro cams are going to be alive for most of the round and to help your teammates out, whether you're alive or you're dead yourself. Alright, next site we're going to show you here on Cafe is the downstairs kitchen sites. And so I like to keep a cam here in bakery. Biggest push normally comes from this bakery side because it's the most kind of open for the attackers. And really they can just hold off from any defense. And so I like to keep a cam in there. And you know, maybe you could keep a cam in this hallway too if you feel necessary. Maybe right on this pillar here. It would give you a good line of sight down this hallway, onto these stairs, into this entryway, and a little bit into the doorway here. Not a whole lot, but it does give you quite a view. And I can see the operator just kind of chilling in this room. But can I not hit that? There we go. Anyway. But I like to have, I don't necessarily prefer this cam, but it's always just an option. And then on this one, I like to keep a cam kind of in sight, whatever site you really prefer. I think this site is better to kind of hold down with bodies, in my opinion, and then to put a cam in this site. This is the typical plant site, and a really good place to plant if they have control of this site is easily right behind this bomb here. So if we see, like, if the Twitch comes into sight here and comes plant like next to the doorway behind bomb A, we won't necessarily be able to see them if they're planting right at that doorway. And see, it's impossible. It's not a very good gunfight for me to win, but when they're back there, I can normally be able to see them on the drone, even just the top of their head, if they go for the plant.
Yeah, try to angle it on the corner.
Oh, I just had it. There we go. So you can vault on this and then place it high up. That is where you're going to want to place this cam here. That is where you want this cam, and boom, we have full line of sight onto him. Even if he goes for the plant animation, we're going to be able to get his head here. Down to 15 seconds. Anywhere he goes. And so that is going to be where you want the second cam here.
Bro, I was just here for the tour, my guy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That was clean. Quick side note, we decided to only do 3 maps with the 2 sites on each of the maps. We decided 4 maps might be a bit much to take in for one video. If you're curious about the other map we were going to do, it was Oregon. Just a couple spots on the basement, on the top floor. If you're real curious, you can hit me up on my DMs on Twitter or whatever you want to do, and I can show you those sites on some other time, but we just won't be able to fit it all into this video. But we're going to go ahead and show you Coastline here and my favorite spots on Coastline to kind of play. I like having a cam here in 90 on the hall here. As you see, pretty protected here. Most of the time the pushes come either from in library or the lounge area right there, or in these 90 hall, as people almost always have to come through here if they're not coming directly from the lounge or bathroom. And so I like to put a deployable shield kind of at my feet right here. And so that way it gives me a bit of an opportunity to kind of peek out a little bit more and a little bit more protection, because I do like to hold right here. That way when I see somebody, I can kind of peek and possibly get the kill from my cams. And then I typically don't put a cam in this site, but I will put a cam in penthouse to cover behind the bed. You can't quite see back here, but you do get a good glimpse of the bomb and everything else in this site. So that is how I tend to defend Penthouse Theater with Maestro. Alright, for hookah and billiards, I like to defend personally with Maestro in the aquarium. Aquarium isn't an area a lot of people will try to take into. A lot of people will try to take into the hookah site instead of billiards. But when you hold down aquarium, it can be devastating for when teams try to push in. I just impacted myself. That's a rip. Here comes the Twitch drone. Let's see if we can.
Has been located by Op 4.
Oh no. See, that is how not to play Maestro. But we still got it. I just like to defend aquarium here, put a deployable shield at the doorway here, and then you can get a good sight of someone pushing the doorway here or in the hall and be protected by a shield. Normally when I do defend in here, I break over the hatch just for an easy escape if I need out. And then my other Maestro cam I like to keep in the hookah site just because it's the more popular site, and so I do tend to put it in here to really defend behind here where most of the plants go down. This site, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Twitch drone is back at it again, the cam above my head. Too slow. Yeah, that is it. Barnacles.
All friendlies were eliminated.
Barnacles, dude.
Alright everyone, thanks so much for tuning in for another episode of Siege Training Academy. We appreciate everyone who came in, and hopefully you all learned something on how to play Maestro this episode, and on how to just be a better overall Siege player. Look forward to making the next one. Let me know in the comments below on what operator you guys would like to see us play, and give a guide out for next. Until next time.